animation was like slow and choppy things.
Yeah,
so it was
slow and
really fun.
choppy and kid-like, but
Yeah.
they really make a big point of crossing into Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
When you leave Maryland and go into Pennsylvania, what is that line called?
Mason-Dixon.
Mason-Dixon line. Okay. Can somebody, let's see. Hey, by the way, where are Warren Manus and Bert Manus from? What university? Who said that? Okay, University of Southern California. They're both retired professors. They're emeritus professors of business at USC. Robert LaMarche model. Anybody explain that to me? Huh? Yes.
The frog is the leader, and then like the rest of the organization is like a rock behind the frog and connecting them as rubber band. And the leader has to progress slowly so that there's not like whiplash from the organization. So it's kind of, there's not too much tension between where the leader's going and where the organization is.
But you gotta pull, but if you don't pull hard enough, you gotta be in the right tension, right? You get it right to get it moving, right? And what Devon's saying, if you pull too hard, what's gonna happen?
It's gonna snap.
Hits you right in the rear end, okay? So each rubber band is different, so your relationship with your people is different. Well, one of the things you're gonna find out is how many in here are going to become lead miners. Let me tell you what you're gonna find out. Mark Meyer is gonna stress this. Leadership is relation building, period. You can remember that, that's important. That rubber band is the description of the relationship. Okay? How hard do you think Boone pulled that on that rock?
As much as you could.
About as much as he could. To make a statement like, "Who's your daddy?" in a southern state is dangerous. If he'd have done that in Mississippi with Governor Ross Barnett around, he'd have been gone. All right. Be sure you watch I Have a Dream. Lookout Mountain. Tell me a little bit about what I said about Lookout Mountain.
You can see like 7 southern states.
In one panoramic view, clearly see beautiful view. What about Stone Mountain? What's that? Yeah, from 1915 to 1958, the KKK burned crosses up there. And it reminded me of the height of Lookout Mountain. It's really high up in it, and you see very clearly in the distance. I mean, that's a real threat. Okay. Who are the bulls and riding the rails?
The officers.
The trained police. Not regular police,
Yeah,
but the trained security, right? What was the hobo life like?
They asked for handouts.
What?
They asked for handouts.
Okay, that's one of the characteristics. They had to beg. They had to learn to beg, right? Because they were what? Starving. So they begged for food. They begged for work. It's really pathetic, all right, what they had to do. Was it a safe life? It could be, but generally not. Well, give me some of the dangers. The freight trains. You could fall off. You could be standing up walking with your back, walking away from the front and hit a bridge. You're gone. Remember the one guy talked about the bridge goes under the tunnel and the black smoke was in his lungs. He was spitting it up for a year. He had passed out from that. The movie Wild Boys of the Road. What was the intent of Warner Brothers when they wrote and made the movie Wild Boys of the Road? What? Yeah, but for some kids it had what kind of effect? This is fun. This is fun. So it was a tough life. Now, some of those kids went out not because they were forced out there. The one guy said his dad was a medical doctor, remember that? He said he didn't have any, but did he learn anything going out on the road? He did, he really did. It's too bad we didn't see it all the way through, because at the end, it tells where those men, what happened with those men. The guy whose dad was a medical doctor, he became a war hero, a pilot. And he came back and worked for peace in the world. I mean, some of those guys, they had jobs that were incredible leadership positions in our world. Some became union leaders, some became managers. One of those guys wrote a pamphlet with Steinbeck. So I mean, they were pretty darn good people. Who was the greatest generation? Katie, who was the greatest generation?
People that lived through the Depression and then World War I and World War II.
No, not
Or
World
World
War
War
II.
II, sorry.
Yeah, World War II, and then what?
Yeah, like Vietnam, like everything after
They
that.
built the United States from the end of the war, 46 to the end of the 60s. So if you were living during the Depression, usually at any time during the Depression, and you might have gone off to fight in World War II or participate in World War II, like women who went to the factories. Then, when the war ended, the folks that fought World War II, either on the home front or overseas, just wanted to raise families when they came home. They just wanted a home, and they wanted to be left alone. And so they built this country during that time period of the 50s, late 40s, 50s, and 60s. Okay? All right. That makes sense to everybody? Now, here's what I'd like you to do. I'd like you to get into small groups. This will be the last activity we'll do. I want you to read that letter over